Hi there, welcome back to my modeling desk. Today I'm going to just do a little quick video on showing how I install the Miniatures by Eric vertical Canadian steps that were installed in a lot of the earlier SD40-2s and GP38s, mainly used by Canadian railroads, mostly CP Rail and Canadian National. So what it was is a little different from the American style steps that they had. They were tapered going up to the running board. Okay, so what the Canadians did with the GMD plant is they built these vertical steps that would apparently there's different reasons why they did that. Some of them is that it's supposed to stop the snow from building up inside the steps, and the other one was the other reason was it was to prevent bears from crawling up onto the walkway. But what I'm going to do is just a quick little video and show you how I do it. Here's one that it's already in progress. You can see how they're mounted in there. All right, just a little bit of finessing to get it in. Okay. And then what it'll look like is once you got the steps out, it'll look somewhat like this. Okay? So what I'm going to show you first is you buy the steps, Miniatures by Eric. This is the S17, and it gives you 4. Now, once you get them out of the package, you're going to have to dress them up. You're going to have to, what that means is you're going to have to take some files or whatever tools you like to use for deburring and just kind of getting it nice and vertically straight here and there. Getting a nice smooth surface, okay? Like I said, dress them up, okay? So tools that I use to do that are obviously some miniature files and some deburring tools, which I hook up to my Dremel here and just get in there and clean them up, right? Alright, moving along. So what you're going to need to do this is, one of the things that I purchased a while back were these little saw blades, okay, which go on the arbor, and they're perfect for cutting in. Alright, I got these at Princess Auto, good old Power Fest, and they do the job. Okay, so I'm going to hook this up and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, now that you've got the saw blade on, okay, make sure that you've got the teeth going the right direction. Double check it before you start. Obviously the Dremel rotates to the right, so you want to have your teeth going to the right. You want to cut into it. Okay, so what I do is I'll eye up the old model here. I'm just gonna now with the stylus, you can adjust the speed on the back, which is nice. Don't go too fast. Don't go crank it up to number 10. I mean, yeah, it's nice. You got all that RPM there, but all you're going to do is you're just going to get in. You're just going to burn the plastic. You don't want to burn it. You want to cut it. Okay, so slow it down to about 2.5. Well, that'd be about 3. Okay, so we'll fire it up here. You just want to get in there and just ever so slightly just cut it. Go in the middle and test it. Yeah, it's cutting nicely. Okay, that's cutting good. Alright, so then what I do, get yourself in a nice position and cut along the edge. Okay, nice, and then come around here. Now when you do the inside sill, let's go straight across this, get this up nice and flat. Bring her straight in. Okay, so that's all we're doing here. We're just doing a nice simple cut. We'll come around the other side. Alright, again, eye it up so it's nice, somewhat close. Don't go right up against the pilot because you're going to file that part away. Because obviously it leaves like a little burr there. Alright, so let's come in here again. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's good. Alright, now what I do is I take my spruce cutters. These are just dedicated to plastic only. It's just how I am. I don't like to mix stuff. Alright, so I'm just going to come in here, just clean this up, get rid of that. We don't need that. Start to adjust the light a little bit here. We just want to clean this all up here. Okay, get this out. Okay, so you can kind of get the idea where we're going here, right? For sure. Alright, I'll just keep going at this because I don't need to bore you with every little nip and cut I do. Okay, be right back. Okay, so now obviously you can see now that we've got the steps off here, okay? We got them all cut out. Just a nice little kind of a cleaned up surface here. Now, one thing that with this, these are Atlas, okay? They make their pilot very thin, but then they have their steps molded right to it, obviously. But there's a little bit of a right there. You can see where they made right behind the pilot thicker, but then the exposed pilot's rather thin. So you're going to have to obviously file off these pieces here, right, which I'm going to do. And what I did is I pick up these little machine blocks, which are pretty cool. They're good to work on. They give you a nice solid surface to work with, right, so you can really get your file on there. Again, I have files that are dedicated to plastic only and metal. So what you want to do is you want to get in there and obviously file this nice and smooth, okay, both sides, okay, because we know when you do file, you're actually not dead level, okay, so you'll actually tend to rock back and forth. So file a bit, check your work, file a bit, check your work, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to file this all smooth, and I'm going to show you some of the other little things that we're going to have to do to get the steps to fit. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did was I did a little bit of filing, but I also, since I'm doing two locomotives at the same time, they're both going to be identical except for paint schemes. One's going to be the CP3009, and the other one will be the CP3005 in its old two-tone green XNN. Okay, as you can see, I started this one here. I put the pilot on, got the steps in, okay. Now on the back side, you can see how I've already notched it out for the steps, okay. And you turn it over, you can see it's all nice and smooth here somewhat. Still got a bit of a ridge, but that's okay. Don't want to go totally smooth here because, man, this pilot's really thin. So got to be real careful, caution, you know, because the only thing that's holding this all together right now is this little area right here and here. So, you know, you don't want to be like, whoa, bend it over, it snap. So, what I just cut now, as you can see how we've got all this material in here. You're going to have to remove this material, okay, and that'll give you room to start putting your steps in, okay. So again, you can see the difference here. Yes, front, back. Okay, you see the difference here? That's what the steps were. I just cut out the steps here, but now I've notched it here, okay? Because what you're going to want to do is, and then see how the material's all cleaned up around this edge here? Do that with your X-Acto knife. I also use some miniature files, which help quite a bit to get in there, sand it out. Again, what I do, how I do this is I get it on here. I just get the walkway nice and flat on there, and I just get in there and just, you know, you just kind of work it and file it. Careful not to hit the pilot, you know, you're going to be real careful with what you're doing, just like that, okay? And then, of course, the other side, you know, get in there and clean it up. Okay, now, what you can see is how it's notched. What that's going to allow is it's going to allow me to rotate that. This step is going to go into here just like that, okay? You see how it's going to be up against the pilot like that, okay? And then your top view, and we'll do the other side here. The other side, the outside sill here is going to obviously be opposite to the pilot. So your steps will go in just like this, okay? And then it's kind of hard for them to sit in there while there's no glue or adhesive, but this is going to give you the idea how it's going to sit in there, okay? See if I get my fat fingers out of the way here. Pretty much just like that, okay? And you see how that sits in there? See that, how it's sits in like that again? Okay. And you're going to come out with a finished look like this, okay? These have been glued into place, alright? Now when you mix a little bit of brass and plastic, you'll get a little bit of, using the CA, it'll kind of frost up like that, but that's very sandable, or file, okay? Now, what you can also do is, I've done this on another model, you can recess these down just a tiny bit, and you can get some checker plate material and put it on top. I find that once I've painted it, and you start detailing the top, it really, the checkerboard look doesn't matter anymore. But pretty straightforward. It's a little bit of time. Don't just start cutting massively into it. Follow a little bit. My big recommendation: cut, file, fit. Cut, file, fit. Cut, file, fit. And then you're going to find these will be fitting there nice and snug, just the way you want. You don't want it flop around or loose or you know, off to one side. Just take your time. Cut, file, fit. All right, and then glue it in, and it's going to look friggin' awesome. All right. I'll show more of these models once they're all finished up. But that's how I do my vertical Canadian steps. Okay, by Miniatures by Eric. Alrighty. Thanks for watching.